Hello, everybody. Welcome to your second day of English classes. This video is for August the 26th, Wednesday, which is an A day, and Thursday, August the 27th, which is a B day. I hope you guys had a great first couple of days of school, and I am so excited to get some of your emails, get your locker decorations, and just learn a little bit more about you. Before we start, I want to give a special shout out to two young ladies who've been working ahead even before school starts. Kenna Elliott, she has been wonderful. Thank you, Kenna. She's been piloting all of my stuff, letting me know what links aren't working and what are. Lori Finnison has already gotten started on some of her work as well and has been emailing me and introducing herself to me. So these ladies are on top of their game, and I'm looking forward to seeing some of the rest of you being some Excel leaders, some people who go above and beyond. So thank you, ladies, for being great role models. So let's go over here to our Google Classroom page, and you guys are virtual, so let's look at what the work for today is. I do want to remind you that for me, and only for me, you are not looking at the stream, okay? You need to click on classwork, start at the top, and move down. So let's check our virtual classroom today and see what is on the agenda. And we scroll down. Today's the 26th and the 27th. Bell work is grammar. We're going to do note taking 101. Project launch, learn a little bit about our project for the day. Do a pre-reading activity that has to do with our book that we're going to start reading next time. And we're going to do an exit ticket. You guys are going to do an exit ticket, but I have roots on here. I decided to change that, so it is not going to be over roots today. The only thing you're going to need today is your Chromebook. You're also going to need your English notebook and something to write with. All righty. And then we're also still focusing on that cognitive skill of communicating accurately and precisely. Grammar, sentence structure, things like that. So let's get started with the bell work. Sorry, August 26th and 27th bell work. This is grammar review. And I need you to make sure that you are reviewing grammar, the parts of speech, because we're going to do something called sentence diagramming. And I really feel like it's going to help make you guys better writers and maybe even better readers. So it is vital that you understand the different parts of speech, at least the basic parts of speech. So remember, we talked about high expectations last time, that you need to be expecting the absolute best of yourself and you need to be pushing yourself. So what I want you guys to do is do the spell work. You're going to pause the video, do the bell work. Do not push submit yet. Okay. I am going to review this with you. So this is your chance right now. Go ahead and pause the video and come back when you are ready. Okay, I am going to guess that you expected great things from yourself. You pushed yourself, you paused the video, and you tried to do the work yourself so that you can see how much you know. So let's go over this spell work. All right, what is the job of an adjective? Does it describe a verb, name a person, place, thing, or idea, or describe a noun or pronoun? An adjective is going to describe a noun or a pronoun. So I could say the big blue truck. Big and blue would be adjectives describing truck. What is the job of a noun? Describes a verb, names a person, place, thing, or idea, joins two words or two groups of words. A noun, it names a person, place, thing, or idea. It could be proper or it could be common. Table would be a common noun. Miss Hale would be proper, so you would need to capitalize your proper nouns. Cross it is a proper noun. Street is a common noun unless you are naming the street. So if you said Cedar Street, you would capitalize both Cedar and Street. Conjunction, is it something that describes a verb? Does it name a person, place, thing, or idea, or join two words or two groups of words? That is joins two words or two groups of words. You have two different types of conjunctions. You have subordinating and coordinating. Coordinating is the fanboys. So if I said Mary and Susie, you're combining those two names with and. That's your conjunction. And then your subordinating conjunctions are, the acronym is called AWOBIS, and you would have like because. I fell down because my shoe wasn't tied. So that's two groups of words that are combined with because. Which is the job of a verb? Expresses emotion? Is it action linking or helping word? Or does it join two words or groups of words? A verb is an action linking or helping verb. So Sarah ran. Ran would be your verb. What did she do? A linking verb would be like the to be verbs. She is in her chair. Is links her to her chair. It's a state of being. A helping word is also going to go with you a lot of times with your action and linking verbs. It could be like present progressive. So if I said she will run in the race, will is your helping verb, run is your action verb. All of that is your verb. What is the job of an adverb? Does it describe a verb, name a person, place, thing, or idea, or join two words or groups of words? An adverb describes a verb. So it could say, she's going to run in the race. When is she going to run in the race? Soon. If I said she ran in the race, how did she run? She ran quickly. So a lot of adverbs end in ly. Or it could say a time, like soon. Which is the job of a preposition? Does it express emotion, name a person, place, thing, or idea, or start a phrase? Preposition starts a phrase. So she ran in the race. In the race is your phrase. In is your preposition. She went to the math class. To would be your preposition. And lastly, which is the job of a pronoun? A pronoun takes the place of a noun, names a person, place, thing, or idea, or begins a phrase. A pronoun takes the place of a noun. So instead of saying Miss Hale, you could say she. Miss Hale went to the store. She went to the store. That's Miss Hale's car. That's her car. It's also I, you, we, they, them. Those are all pronouns. So once you get all of those answers correct, please push submit at the bottom so that I can have your attendance marked. Remember that this is how I'm keeping up with your attendance. You do need to have that everything done by 11:59 p.m. on the 27th, okay? Alrighty, let's look at note-taking 101. And I do want to show you that excuse me, it says view more right down here at the bottom. There are some more things on today, so please make sure you don't miss any of those. Note-taking 101, you guys are going to have to take notes in all of your core classes this year because you're going to be taking your focus area tests, which are called content assessments. And I just want to log in and show you guys some of that work and where to find your focus areas. I am going to show you a video that I made, and I just kind of had to figure it out because my desktop computer does not have a video for me, but it also does not have a microphone. So I was able to use my Elmo so that you could see what I was doing, but there was no sound. So I've recorded that video and I'm going to show you that video in this video, and I'm going to talk about what I'm doing in that video. So I'm just showing you Kenna's page just because I've been in contact with her and I don't feel like she's going to be upset that I'm doing this. So when you go to your summit, it will look different than mine. You will have this pop-out tab on the left side, but yours won't have the same things. You'll have progress, week, and year over there. So if you go over here and you click on your year tab, you'll have something like this, and I hope that you have more classes by this time. This is today is Sunday. It's the day before school starts, so not everybody's gotten logged in and on that. So this is English. Yours will say English 7E Hale. And you can see focus areas, power, and additional. Remember, challenge focus areas are just for the books that we're reading. You don't have to take notes for those. But for power and additional, you do. You can see the first power focus area for English is due on September 18th. So it's extremely important that we don't wait until the last minute to get this done. That doesn't mean take it on September 18th. That means it needs to be done by then. And my goal for you is to have that done next Tuesday or Thursday. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So we are going to take some notes over reading strategies today. You should have a notebook that is specifically for English. And I want to make sure that you keep your notes in that notebook. Before we start taking notes, I want to show you a slideshow and talk a little bit about what good notes look like and what we expect of you in the 7th grade. So a lot of this information from this slideshow comes from Ivy League colleges, which are like Yale, Harvard, Princeton. They are very prestigious schools, and they do a lot of research. So we know that they are a credible source. They're people that we can trust. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to think about whether or not you take good notes. You don't have to do anything on this slide, but I want you to think about it. Do you think you take good notes? Then I want you to ask yourself this question. If you gave your notes for the entire week to your friend who had not been at school that whole week, and you had a test, and that's all your friend had was to study your notes, do you think your friend would pass? Notes are really hard for a lot of people. So that's the key thing. Your notes that you take for your focus areas, those are going to be your study guides. Now, when we tell you guys, okay, we want you to take notes and we want you to study your notes. I want you to see what we are afraid of. We are terrified that you are going to write pages and pages and pages of notes. I've had people turn in 17 pages worth of notes. Guys, you can't study that. You can't. It's way too much information. Too little. If you write a sentence, sorry guys, there's a fly in my room. If you write a sentence or two and you miss a whole lot of information, you're not going to have enough to study. So it's extremely important to find a good balance. Doodling is actually okay sometimes if it connects. Like I draw a lot of arrows, I circle things, I put stars, and that kind of doodling is okay. Even drawing diagrams or example pictures, but just doing random doodles off to the side can really be distracting, and it takes up a lot of room on your paper. So why should you take notes instead of just doing a worksheet? Watching the PowerPoint or reading a document, you should take notes over it because you have a better chance of remembering that information. Now, I want you to think about this. Do you think that it's better to write your notes by hand or to type them on the computer? And that should be typed, not types. I apologize. Well, most people are going to want to do their notes on the computer, but unfortunately, you're not going to be able to do that because research shows us that it is better to take notes by hand, to write it down, than to type it because you will remember it better. You're more likely to remember it, and you're able to remember it for a longer period of time. So you won't just know it Friday and Monday come back for the test and forget it. So you'll be able to retain that information for long periods of time. So why should we write things versus type things specifically? Well, some people are better writers, some people are better typers. So we have to kind of find a balance with those. If you know that you're not a very fast writer, you may want to be much more careful about what you write down. If you are a very fast writer, you kind of have to rein yourself in so that you don't write everything down. For me, it's really easy to draw lines. I can connect ideas. I can switch things if I get them mixed up. And research says that it's just better for the brain. Typing, it's good because you can highlight things, you can underline things, you can change the font, you can make it bigger or smaller, but it's also easier to cheat, to send your notes to other people. And we have to have you write them because you writing them is what helps commit it to your memory. So to take notes correctly, make sure that you don't write down every single thing. You only focus on what the topic is. And I'm going to show you. You guys will have an objective. Let me show you that right now. So we're going to click on reading strategies because this is what we're looking at. You will have, you see these objectives that you have? You're going to take that objective and you're going to turn it into a question. So if this one says identify and apply, I'm just going to add how do I at the beginning of that. How do I identify and apply common reading strategies to improve reading comprehension? That's the question that I have to answer. So I can't just write down everything. I have to answer that question. It also says don't write too much or not enough. And I talked about that just a second ago. You might think it's better to write a lot, but it's not because you can't study it as well. You can abbreviate, you can paraphrase. I don't write the word and in my notes. I do the ampersand sign. You may not want to write because you may want to write BC. As long as you can decipher your notes, don't abbreviate everything and then come back and go, well, I don't know what I meant there. You have to know what you mean. And then look at the facts. Try to get some of the facts down. And it says, don't get every last fact down. You've got to connect everything. Random facts aren't just going, if you wrote a whole bunch of numbers down, you're not going to be able to connect that. So figure out how it relates back to that objective. When you're listening, this is good because you may be taking notes in class, but you may also be watching a video. When you are listening to a video, you can pause it. You need to listen for the main ideas. Sometimes they'll have words on the screen. You may need to write some of those down. You may want to listen to things that they repeat or that they get louder or they move in or move out. If they emphasize something or repeat something, it's probably good information. And if you were taking some notes and you missed something, okay, I heard that she said poetic devices, but I don't know what she said about it. So I'm going to write poetic devices down and I'm going to put a question mark by it so that I know I need to go back and get some information on that. It could also be something that I didn't understand. I heard it, but I didn't understand it. So I'm going to put a question mark or I may need to circle it. Things worth writing down. Definitions. You guys will have in your focus areas these key terms right here over to the side. I think for me, you pretty much have these in every focus area, but you'll need to write those down and you will need to define those. So definitions, unique stuff, anything that sticks out, things that maybe you're reading two different articles and one doesn't have this information. You might want to write that down. Things you didn't know before, new stuff, causes and effects. This happened because that happened. And examples, that's a good one for math, especially. It's hard to take notes in math sometimes, people think, but remember, if you can do definitions, you can do new stuff, examples. What is the definition of a ratio? What are some formulas? And then provide some examples. When doing the examples, it's okay to get them wrong. You really should try and then go back and check your answers and then come back and see, why did you get it wrong? So that's why it's so important to look at examples. All right, sorry, I didn't mean to get out of that. So there are lots of note-taking methods in the 7th grade and the 8th grade. You will do Cornell notes. It is so important because if you look at this page of notes right here, there's way too much information. I see a few things that are good, like the underline, the stars. There are a lot of stars, though. the circled word. That's what sticks out most to me, but the rest of this is just like, bleh. You can do two things. Like I said, you're going to take Cornell notes. You can color code them if you want to. This is completely up to you. So this is what color coding would look like. You can see this person has highlighted some of the important things. They've done the major topics in orange, and then they've got some of their dates in yellow, and then they have some subtopics in pink, and they put over here to the side what each color represents. On the left side, instead of highlighting, they use different colored pens. And I do both of those things. I will use different colored pens in the video I'm going to show you in just a minute. So again, just kind of doing the same thing. Maybe do your definitions in one color, your vocabulary in one color, facts in one color, or you could just go back and forth between two colors to kind of break up the monotony. These are Cornell notes, which is what you guys will be taking. Basically, you're just going to divide your page up into like a T almost. I'm not going to require you guys to have this summary at the bottom. That's completely up to you, but you will have some information that I'll tell you to put at the top. The important part is dividing your page up where you have this little space on the left side and this big space on the right side. The left side is where maybe you have questions to ask or that you have to answer. So you can write your questions down. This is where you write the vocabulary words. This is where you write topics. On the right side is where you put the definitions. It's where you put the examples. It's where you put any kind of explanation. This could be from the document. It could be from your teacher. It could be something that you look up. So the left side is for helping you focus on individual things, and then you give more information on the right side. You explain. And then this is where most people fail. They don't study them. If you do not study what you've written in 24 hours, you're going to lose at least half of that information. So writing it is studying, but then you also have to reread it and look over it again. So if you take some notes on Friday, you need to look over them, just read over them over the weekend so that you can retain that information for whenever you're ready to take the test on Monday or Tuesday. And keeping them organized. This is why I told you guys you have to keep them in a notebook. Use your resources. You guys are going to have tons of resources. You can see over here when I click on the objective, these are all of my resources for Objective 1. These are my resources for Objective 2, and there are all kinds. There's a quiz, there's a PowerPoint, there are websites to read through. You find what works for you. Okay, let's see. Let's go over to this video. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to get out your English notebook, and we're going to take some Cornell notes. You have reading strategies. You have 2 objectives, which means we're going to take about 2 pages of notes. You can do that front and back, or you can do that all in one side. But I'm going to walk you through the notes for Objective 1, and I'm going to walk you through an example of Objective 2. You're going to have to do your own notes. At the end of this, you're going to need to complete your notes on paper. You're going to take a picture of them, and you're going to upload them and send them to me. Then you're going to need to study them until you're ready to take the test, and I want you to try to take the test either next Tuesday or Thursday. Okay, so anytime you're doing notes for a focus area, the first thing you're going to do is take notes on the key terms. This focus area is different than the rest because the key terms in Objective 1 are exactly the same. So my notes are going to look a little bit different. All right, if you need to take a minute to get a piece of paper so you can set that up, you can pause the video. If not, you can keep watching. You can see I'm dividing my paper up with a small column on the left side and a large column on the right side. And then I leave a good chunk of area for my header. I'm going to have 3 things on my header. I'm going to include my name, the name of the focus area. It doesn't matter if it's a power or additional, but you have to have the name. And then I'm going to put OBJ, which stands for objective, or you could just put key terms. So I put my name, Emily Hill. The focus area is reading strategies. Remember, this video pauses, so if you are needing some time to catch up, just pause, write things down, and then you can come back and push play. So to find my objective, I am going to go over to Summit and look for the reading strategies content assessment. And mine is define the key terms. And then I'm going to make sure that I understand that I have to start with my key terms, but my objective is also define common reading strategies. So it's the same thing on this one. So it's objective 1, and I am going to write down key terms. And I am going to need to write down every one of those key terms that's over here on the left side of my paper. Leave a little bit of room in between them. I don't even stick to lines a lot of the time. It may help you be better organized if you do, but sometimes I like to write big so that I can see it. So I have all of my words on the paper, and now I need to go define them. And you can start anywhere that you want. Look under the resources and just start clicking on different resources. So I clicked on this one that says context clues, and it's a little PowerPoint, and I'm just going to go and I'll go through and find the definition of context clues. It's right there at the very beginning. So context clues is the last key term. Context clues are bits of information from the text. When combined with prior knowledge, allow you to decide the meaning of unknown words in the story or article you're reading. Well, that's a long sentence. So I'm going to cut it down a little bit. I'm going to take some of the information and reword it even. So I put bits of info from text. And I had to go back and flip back and forth and see what it said. Bits of info from text that help you figure out meanings of unknown words. And I do the same with the rest of the words, and I am going to just kind of let it play out so that you guys can get this information as well. So I am not going to talk for just a minute. I want you guys to be able to watch the video, pause it if you need to, so that you can focus on that. Compare. I found the definition of compare. And that is to tell how things are the same. I'm going to go on through this video and show you some other things. I will post this video in Note-Taking 101 and let you guys go through and be able to get all of the definitions. One thing that really stood out to me was this document called Check for Understanding, Define Reading Strategies. And it is kind of a worksheet. The good thing about Summit is that you have your worksheets, but you also have the answers on the second page. Yeah, high expectations, remember. You've got to have high expectations for yourself. So before I look at the answers, I'm going to write down on my paper the numbers, and I would work those out, and then I would come back and check them later. I'm just working on defining the words right now. So it's a good resource because I can scroll down and I can see, okay, maybe I want to define the word skim, which is right here. And I'm going to scroll down to my answer key. I know it's number 2. And on my answer key, I see that it is D. So there's the definition. And I have the definition to write down. I can shorten it. I can abbreviate some things. But they are all there. And I get most of the definitions from that as well. Cornell Notes. For the Cornell Notes definition, I look at a video and I scroll through the video and I find some of the information that she's put on her board. I pause the video so that I can watch just for the information that I need. I skim or scan through the video. And I write the definition down, and then I go back and get clarify and reread. And that was all of my definitions. I have my key terms done. I did go back because I wanted to show you how to do the objective, because this was also objective 1. So I put a 1 right by the objective, and then I turned the objective into a question. And the objective said, define key terms, it says define reading strategies. So I put how do I in front of it. So how do I define common reading strategies? Usually you would do this at the beginning. And then I move on to my second objective, because you have to do notes for every objective. The first time that you take it, you've got to do notes. You've got to choose one resource from every objective. And guys, I'm sorry, sometimes there are a lot of objectives, but you need that information. These focused areas are your foundational skills. They're skills that you should have and that I'm going to reinforce in class. Now, if you don't do well the first time you take it, you'll take some more notes. If you don't do well after that, I'll step in and help you. So you're not just doing everything by yourself. So I have objective 2, and I turn that into a question. And I kind of zoom in so you can see it. How do I always do that? Identify and apply common reading strategies to improve reading comprehension. So then I am going to move on to my resources. Remember, I only have to pick one resource my first time, and I found a worksheet to do. Now remember, high expectations. So I don't want to look at the answers first. I go back over and I'm going to write down the name of the resource. So it's Check for Understanding Using Reading Strategies. Because I'm using this on my first set of notes, I can't use it on my second set of notes if I don't pass the test and I need to take more notes. So I write down resource, and then I write down the name of the resource. And then I am going to number my paper with the same number of questions. There are 4. And then I'm going to go back and answer the questions. Now, I just wrote down some letters because I wanted to show you what to do if you do not get, if you don't get your questions right. So I've got all my answers written down, and then I go over and check out my answers. And I see that I got 3 and 4 wrong, so I'm going to mark those wrong, and I am going to write down the correct answers. Additionally, I am going to I'm going to tell my teacher, I'm going to write on my paper why I got these wrong. It's so important just to go back and figure out where we messed up, because we all make mistakes. And if we don't know better, we don't do better. And I want you to expect good things of yourself. I want you to believe in yourself. And I want you to figure out how to make yourself a better learner. Okay. All right. So I have given you an example of objective 2. Now, you need to go back to the second objective over here, and you need to pick a different objective, or a different resource. A different resource so that you can take your own notes. So right now, what I want you to do is pause the video, set up your notes for objective 2, turn the second objective into a question, pick a resource, write the name of the resource in the left column, and then I want you to work on trying to take some notes. When you finish that, I want you to take a picture of your notes from objective 2. I'm going to just hold it up to the camera. You can include your face. I want to see your beautiful face. And take a picture of it, and you're going to upload and submit that. So right now is the time to pause the video. All right. I am expecting you to have paused the video and taken some notes for objective 2. Remember, research shows that you need to reread them within 24 hours. Otherwise, you're going to lose 50% of that information. Okay? Make sure that you have those definitions as well. The next thing we are going to do is our project launch. And you see there's a link right here. That link is important. So just make sure that you recognize that, and we'll come back to it. Your project is called Rhythm and Flow. I deleted the page. Let me go back over here to Summit and pull Kenna's page up. Here's what it would look like for you guys. I'm logged in as Kenna right now. All right. So you can see the first project is Rhythm and Flow. I haven't given you guys any work in here yet. I haven't assigned anything yet, but once everybody gets signed into Summit, I'll be able to assign you things. And when I say that we're working on Summit, you'll always go over to the side, go to your year view, and you will come down to English and click on your first project, Rhythm and Flow. And I'll tell you where to go from there. You'll have some stuff going on in here, but we're not working anywhere else right now. But Power Focus Area Reading Strategies here, and Rhythm and Flow, which is projects. That's it. Until I tell you otherwise, okay? So the name of this unit is Rhythm and Flow. All right, so I'm going to show you a picture, and I want you to think about, based on this picture, what you think the new this project is going to be about. And when I say Rhythm and Flow, what do you think we're going to be doing? So this is our picture. Look at everything on the picture and wonder. All right, so let's see if you made some good predictions. This project is a poetry unit where we will be reading a novel, a book called The Crossover by Kwame Alexander. Now, based on this, what do you think the book is going to be about? It is a book about a young Black boy and his twin brother, who are fantastic basketball players. Their dad was an amazing basketball player. Mom is the assistant principal at their school. And they are always getting into it about who's the better basketball player. then they start getting introduced to middle school, dating, friends, health problems, all kinds of things. Each page, about each page or two, is a poem. And I know that you're thinking, oh, poetry, but I promise it's not going to be difficult to read. And I really think you guys are going to like it. But each poem connects and makes a whole story. So, based on that, you can think about what you think we are going to be writing about. Well, I can tell you we're going to look at poetic devices, which some you're familiar with: imagery, sight, sound, and all the other senses, capitalization, punctuation. Now, here's the thing with poetry: you don't always have to follow the rules, but you can't break the rules unless you know the rules. So that's why we're going to focus on grammar and communicating accurately and precisely so that we can bend the rules just a little here and there, but we're doing it intentionally. So these are some of the poetic devices we will look at. You guys are also going to write with your own rhythm and flow. You are going to be creating your own collection of poems that tell your own story. So I'm really excited to read that. Now, going back to this picture, looking at the illustration on the cover of the crossover, I hope that you can see the poem. This poem is actually in the book. It's written out so that you can read it. But the author took his poem from a regular stanza form and he turned it into a shape. He turned it into the basketball, and he used different colors. He used different sizes of text. You can see how the orange is much bigger than the black, but then you can also see some of the orange is different sizes. You got punctuation. This is an ellipsis where he does the 3 dots. And then you can see he's capitalized all of his words. So that makes a big impact. Concrete poetry. And that is what you are going to do right now. You're going to create your own visual poem. So, in doing that, what I need you to do is open a new tab. You're going to click on this little waffle icon here, and you are going to go down and click on Docs. Remember, Docs might be in a different spot for you. And we are going to go down to the bottom here. There is a plus sign. Click on that, and that will give you a new document. We need to title it, and we are going to title it first name, last name. So mine would be Emily Hale, and you're going to put Project Launch. Project Launch. All right, so we have a few things that we're going to do on this document. We are going to start by creating a concrete poem. So we're going to go back over here to the classwork tab. Remember, if you're getting lost, just pause, rewind, and then go from there, okay? So from the classwork tab under Project Launch, remember I told you about that link there? We're using it now, so go back and click on that poem generator link. You get to choose whatever shape you want for your poem. Now, you're limited. You only have what is on this list. But any of these would be fine. I know there's not a whole lot. Now, your poem is going to be about you. And we reviewed some of our words earlier, some of our some of our grammar words. And you're going to need to use those. So a noun, you're going to start with your name. So I'm going to put my name, Emily. Color, I'm going to put my favorite color, which is purple. A size, it could be any size. Do you like for things to be big and over the top, or do you kind of like for things to be small and quiet and just kind of relaxed? I like things to be a lot more relaxed, so I would say small for quiet, peaceful. Adjectives, 3 words that describe you. So 3 words that I think describe me are kind, I am generous, I like to help people. And temperamental. I think I spelled that wrong. Yeah, I'm still spelling that wrong. There we go. Temperamental. A noun relating to your topic. So this could be, it could be something, you're going to have to do this 3 times. So you're going to choose 3 different things. It could be something you own, something that's special to you. It could be a person who is in your life who's special to you. So I am going to do a person. I'm going to do my son Riddick. You could do your mom, your dad, your aunt, your uncle, your sister, your brother. It could be a good relationship. It could be a bad relationship if you want to share that with me. Don't feel pressured though. An adjective to describe my son. He is wild. He's got so much energy. Let me change that to energetic. That sounds a little bit nicer. A verb relating to my son. He is a runner. He loves to run all the time. And an adverb. Remember, we end in ly, or it could be the time of day. He runs quickly all of the time. Another noun, I can play the piano, so I'm going to put piano. This could be maybe you play a sport, you play an instrument, maybe it's your favorite place. Do you like to go to church? Is there a vacation that you like to go on? Do you like to go to the beach? You can even tell me about food that you like. So I'm going to put piano, an adjective that describes that noun. So I'm going to put shiny because I love to play on those big grand pianos that are all shiny black. And when I play, I can see my fingers, and that kind of distracts me sometimes. A verb relating to that noun, well, play, to play. And an adverb. Let's see, intensely. It's an intense thing when you're listening to music and you get wrapped up in it. A third noun. I'm going to put a place that I like to go. Something about me that I think I said in my introduction videos that I lived for a little bit in Costa Rica. I went and studied abroad there for a little bit. So I'm going to put Costa Rica. It's my favorite place. An adjective that describes the noun. Everybody is very joyful there. They're happy and just relaxed. A verb relating to that noun. Everybody likes to walk everywhere. Like they don't even buy cars a lot of times. And a lot of that comes from them not having money, but they walk everywhere. An adverb. Let's see, slowly, because everything is super slow there. So when you get all of your spaces filled in, then you're going to come down and what's your pen name? Mine is Miss Hale. That's my name. Sometimes people have a pen name, which is different from their real name. Like Mark Twain wrote The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Well, Mark Twain wasn't his real name. That was just the name he went by. His real name was Samuel Clemens. So I'm going to put write me a poem. And then it gets it gives you some suggestions. It kind of moves some words around. But don't worry about changing any of this. Just scroll back down to the bottom and then click write me a poem. And there's my poem. It gives me all kinds of information about me. So what I want you to do is you are going to click publish, and then you're going to, now I'm going to tell you how to copy your poem so that you can paste it over here on this document that I had you create. Okay. So I'm going to push, let me pull up a picture of a Chromebook keyboard. All right. On your keyboard, sorry, there is a fly that is driving me crazy. On the keyboard, you are going to hold 3 buttons, okay? You don't have to push them at the same time, but you have to push all of them and then keep them held at the same time. So you're going to push this button right here, which says CTRL. It's the bottom left, stands for control. You're also going to push shift, and you're going to push this sixth button at the top from the left. It looks like a rectangle with two lines to the right of it. So when I do that, control shift and the sixth button, it kind of makes my screen dark, but it changes my arrow to a circle with like a cross through it. And that is going to let me pick the area that I want to copy. And then it says screenshot taken when I take my fingers off. And I'm going to push copy to clipboard. So remember, if you need to go back over that, you can. And then I'm going to come over here to this document, my Emily Hill project launch. And I am going to paste it. And to paste, you're going to push Control V. Control V. And there is my poem. And that will give me some information about you. So leave that document open. And then we're going to come back over to our PowerPoint. If you need some time, just pause the video and you can come back to it. All right, let's move forward. So we are going to look at a few different things for our project scavenger hunt. The first thing you are going to do is when you go to Summit, you are going to click on Rhythm and Flow. And Project Overview, you guys already have that. You scroll down to find your cognitive skills. We're focusing on 4 cognitive skills. Structure, which is different ways to write poems. So I'm going to have you writing different types of poems. Did you format it? Did you structure it correctly? Narrative is the second one. Did you tell me a story? Selection of evidence. When we're analyzing poems, when I say, give me an example of a simile in the first 10 pages, can you open the book and go find a specific line and type that specific line and say, I found this line on page da-da-da-da, and it's an example of a simile. And then lastly, communicating accurately and precisely. And we talked about what that is, grammar, sentence structure, things like that. So you are going to highlight this stuff, just those 4 things. You're going to push Control C, Control C, and you're going to come back over here to your project launch document, enter down, and Control V, because this asks us what our cognitive skills are. That was number 3. Sorry, I kind of skipped around. That's okay. We'll just put a 3 by it. And then I'm just going to space those out so that they can be read. Maybe put a comma and a space, narrative, comma, space, selection of evidence, comma, space. All right, let's go back and look at number 2. What are the final products? Well, you guys don't have that yet. So I'm going to tell you what the final products are. I'm going to show you what they look like on my page. So let me log out as Kenna and go back to being Miss Hale. Thank you for sharing, Kenna. And for Rhythm and Flow, remember, projects are the ones with the stars by them. Here are your projects. And I think I said 2, but you're actually going to have 3. So let me change that. You're going to have 3. Poem story, poem analysis, and bellwork and exit tickets. So I'm going to go back up here to number 2, and I'm going to say poem story. Then it says poem analysis and bellwork / exit tickets. Pause if I'm going too fast. And that's it, guys. You only had 2 and 3. Number 1 was instructions. So once you finish this, you are just going to come back over and submit it. If you need some more time, just pause the video. If not, I'm going to keep moving on. Excuse me, we've got 2 more things to do, and these are really quick activities. So what I'm going to do is close a few things out, and we're going to move down to the pre-reading diagnostic. When we read the crossover, it has some basketball terminology in it, so it's important for you guys to know some of that terminology. So what I want you to do, you're going to do this document on your own. I'm going to do number 1 with you to show you, and then I'm going to, looks like I already have some answers on there. Ooh, look at you guys. If you look real quick, you can get some answers. So you already have those answers. That's fine. You can work on that. But there's some highlighted stuff, some things that you're going to need to highlight. So I'm going to show you on number 1 and number 10 what I want from you. So this just asks you to understand the basic elements and rules of the game of basketball so that you don't find the book confusing. Number 1 says, in order to move the ball from one end of the court to another, in order to move from one end of a basketball court to another with the ball, a player must dribble the ball, carry the ball, kick the ball, or throw the ball. And the answer is dribble the ball. So I'm going to select that and completely highlight it. I'm going to come up here to this little highlighter tool, and when I hover over it, it says highlight color. And I'm going to pick any color. You can pick a different color every single time if you want to. I don't care, as long as you highlight the answers. I did miss a step, so let me go back. Some of you are probably like, oh my gosh, I can't even type in this right now. Anytime you can't type in something, I want you to go up and push File and make a copy, okay? And you can just put your name by it. It'll say copy of pre-reading diagnostic when you do that. Sorry about that. So this is the little highlighter tool if you're trying to catch up. Pick any color you want. You are going to do 2 through 9 on your own. I am going to show you really quickly how to do number 10 because it's different. It asks for you to highlight all of the items that refer to moves. It's a move that players can make in the game. So a goal is not a move. You can make a goal, but you can't, use the ball and goal it. You can't goal the ball. So let's look. You can dunk, you can lay up, you can free throw. So I'm going to highlight all of those. You can shoot the ball. You can't slide the ball. So those are the ones that I'm going to highlight. All right. The rest of them are up to you guys. You can use Google. You can phone a friend. However you want to figure them out, I want you to do. This one's on you. High expectations. Remember, this is super easy. When you finish this, remember, you're going to come over and you're going to upload it and submit it. And I'm going to get my answers off of there. And you can pause the video right now and do that. All right, if you are still with me, I'm assuming that you paused the video and that you worked on your pre-reading diagnostic and submitted that. Last thing for you guys today is the exit ticket. So if you will, just click on the exit ticket. I told you this wouldn't be Roots today. I just want you to tell me something good that's happened in your life in the past 24, 48, or 72 hours. Appropriate, please. And I want to share with you guys a little bit of good news in my life to give you some examples. It doesn't have to be big. It can be big, though. Let's see. I had a wonderful day yesterday because It was Saturday and the weather wasn't too hot. It wasn't too humid. I got to just go outside with my kids and push them on the swing, and they were in really good moods. And so that was good for me. Um, Another bit of good news is that I, you guys, I love to sleep. I could probably sleep until noon, and my children do not like to sleep. My son will wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and he'll stay awake until 6 or 7. And he'll wake my daughter up and she's like, "Woo, yeah, let's go." So I'm always like, "Oh, I'm so tired." Well, last night they both slept through the night. And so that is good news to me. And then let's see, another bit of good news is that um, I got to have dinner last night with two of my former students who are grown. One's about to get married, and one is starting her first year of teaching. And so just sitting down and having a conversation with a couple of people who bring me joy in life was really special to me. So, just tell me something good about you. Did you get something? Did you make it through something you didn't think you would? Maybe you're used to getting in trouble all the time and you haven't gotten in trouble yet. So tell me something good. I'm trying to get to know you guys. I hope that you have had a wonderful week, and I want to share something with you um, before you get off of this video. And it's just a little quote that I found. I'm going to try to share quotes with you guys sometimes. I want to launch you into leaving with a positive note. So I want you to believe in your dreams, believe in today, believe that you're loved. Believe that you make a difference. Believe that we can build a better world. Believe when others might not. Believe there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Believe that you might be that light for someone else. Believe that the best is yet to be. Believe in each other. Believe in yourself. Because I believe in you. I hope you have a great day. Make sure you're kind and make sure you're making good choices, okay? Email me if you have any questions. Remember, my email is emily.hill@crossetschools.org, and I will see you soon. Bye.